Financial struggle is real. For some of us, it's living paycheck to paycheck. For others, it is student loan debt. But here's the thing. There are four major financial traps that people continue to fall into, and it is keeping us poor. Now, I know what some of you are going to think. It's credit card debt, it's overspending. No. Instead, it is something that many of us are completely missing and is invisible to the naked eye. Let's go ahead and break it down. The first one has changed in a way that many of us have not noticed in the last 10 to 15 years. Now, some of us can say, oh, it's consumer culture, but it is truly marketing. Marketing is the thing that is not only keeping you poor, but it is changing the way that you spend money. Now, some of us know the TikTok shop and how much money that has pulled in, or Afterpay and Klarna and all that type of stuff. Now, I'm gonna tell you a personal story of how this happened to me and how much money it has cost me. But here's the thing. The way that we have changed marketing, particularly digital marketing, has crept into our wallets in ways that many of us don't just understand. And some of us have seen it. You mention something, maybe you sent a text to someone, and all of a sudden you start getting emails, and you get on Facebook, and you get on Instagram, and you're starting to see those ads. And you go to a different website, and you're starting to see those ads. Whether it's a month, 2 months, or 3 months, next thing you know, you have started to buy that product. If, for example, you're looking for a grill or something on Amazon, the next thing they'll say is, oh, you might need these heat-proof gloves or these barbecue utensils and all these other things. These algorithms are built to do exactly that and suggest to you that you need to buy the next thing and to keep you in that consumer loop. And they have changed to get very good at that very job. A recent example for me was I broke my Apple Watch and went back to wearing normal analog watches, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I like these things, okay? So I started doing that, started wearing my watches, and lo and behold, I started Googling other types of watches because it was more nice. I needed something that was a little more sporty, something I could just wear around the house that wasn't like, this is something I should be wearing to the office or a wedding. So I started to do that. Then what happened? I started getting YouTube recommendations. And then I said, oh, I need a place to put this. I needed a watch box. So bought a watch box, it had 5 spaces. What do you think I did? I ended up buying enough watches to fill that watch box. As I continued to watch more videos about the top 5 watches, I started to get emails about it. I bought a bigger watch box and now 12 spaces. And I thought, over the next year or so, I need to fill up this box with more watches. The next thing I know, now I have even more watches, even more emails. Now, thankfully, I have exited the hobby, right? And I've turned my focus to other things. But that is how it happens. You look at something, you get into it, you get more interested, and then you start getting all of these suggestions. You start joining Facebook groups, you start getting ads, and all of these things start to happen. They build digital profiles on you, and there are marketers who know the exact buttons and words to send to you via email and everything in between to target you. It is not the way it used to be where they just wrote a commercial and they hope to hit you whenever you're sitting down at the TV. No, it is via text, via email, via video, and everything in between to ensure that you are buying something, and many of us aren't paying attention. Sometimes we think, oh, this is just a natural purchase and something that we absolutely needed. Sometimes it is. Other times it absolutely is not, and it is something that was suggested to you months ago. Quick announcement, y'all. Wall Street is keeping its best advice to itself and its wealthy clients. And that's because studies show those who work with a financial planner tend to do better. But to get that advice, sometimes you have to spend thousands of dollars and have a high minimum just to talk with somebody. For example, to work with me when I was a financial advisor, it was $250,000. That was the minimum. To be honest with you, I don't like that. That's why I'm working with Wealthmore. Through June 30th, 2025, they have a $0 minimum. That means you get to work with a financial planner one-on-one, and you can even message your financial planner through the app. You can also use the app and join the community for free. Download Wealthmore today and use the code BuildingBread. All right, back to the video. This one is a bit more common. It is lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle creep is what some people will call it. It is something that you do want to battle. Now, to fight against some of the marketing things, I will say that unsubscribing from certain things is what you need to do, especially from your inbox, and just be aware of the content that you are absorbing, especially from the item side of things. So for me, if I'm getting certain content from like, hey, you should buy X, Y, and Z, I'll just go ahead and unsubscribe. Like, I don't really need to buy that certain thing, and just avoid that type of content if I know it's something I actually do not need to buy or something I don't need to consume. So that's one way you can avoid it. The next one, though, is lifestyle creep or lifestyle inflation. This one I would say is a bit more common, but it's something that does creep in that people don't always tend to notice. Now, at one point, believe it or not, I was a younger man, and I would frequent a McDonald's a time or two. And at that point, that was all the money I had. And I would even frequent a Taco Bell. Now, at this big age, I would never go to a Taco Bell. But that does not mean at this phase that I could just go to a Chipotle every single day. All right, that is lifestyle creep. Now, do I deserve Chipotle? Do I enjoy Chipotle? Yes, it was at one point where I was investing in Chipotle and made a lot of money. Okay, but here's the thing. The antidote to that is to automate your savings. Automate your savings and continue to enjoy. So for example, let's say that I am automating my savings to, let's just say $500 a month. My income increases, and I say, all right, I'm saving $500 a month. I'm just going to increase that to $700. So I am increasing my savings. And if I want to continue to reward myself and spend just a little bit more, I can go ahead and do that. So you can still enjoy a bit more, but also saving a bit more. What you don't want to do is say, my savings is still down here, but my expenses have shot up. They have doubled, they have tripled, and my savings hasn't moved. That is a lifestyle creep that many people start to fall into. And sometimes it's because family has grown, family has expanded, and those are new bills that come into play. But even if that's the case, you still want to slowly increase your savings and your investments. Another thing that I've done too, you have access to a 401k, I'll start off at a certain percentage. A lot of times for me, it's 12, sometimes it's even 15. And I'll say there's sometimes a box where it will say automatically increase by 1% a year. That is something that will lifestyle creep me into investing even more. And that is something that you can try out too. So it's not depriving yourself of better things as you move up the ladder. You should enjoy your money. You should grow up, right, and get nicer things as you move up. That is a part of growing and maturing and enjoying your money. But as you move up, you should also have nicer savings, have nicer investments as well. Now, as the last one was a bit more lighter, a bit more fun, this next one is not. MLM schemes, multi-level marketing, pyramid schemes, some people say they're the same, some people say they're not. I honestly do not care. And the get rich quick mentality, those are the things that will absolutely keep you poor. And whatever money you think you have, you will absolutely lose. You lose time, and again, you absolutely lose money. I've seen it time and time and time again. They try to be lotto tickets, and in reality, wealth is built through time. Trying to get rich quick is losing money faster. That is what happens to most people. Perhaps there's a better way that I could have phrased that was a bit more snappy, but you guys get the point. There are so many people who spend years, I mean years, going from one pyramid scheme to another, to another, to another, and realize, hey, the last 5 years, none of these schemes worked. Let me go to a regular job. Let me try out just saving money. They'll sell knives, they'll sell flat tummy tea, and they'll do all this stuff, and then like, hey, none of it worked. Let me just go back to doing whatever. Or they'll try losing money on all these types of stocks and say, all right, well, I'm just going to try index funds now. Like, don't do that. Don't do that if you don't have to. What also happens is you'll burn through all that money and then have nothing left to try the true methods that have worked for decades. I would argue start with the basics first. And if you got some extra money that you just want to throw away and try, you're more than welcome to do that. I wouldn't suggest it. I wouldn't do that. But it is take care of home base first. If you got, for example, $1,000, take that and do the basics first. Do what we know have worked for decades. And then as that is working, growing, saving, investing, whatever that is, and you get an extra $10 and you want to burn it, try one of those things and see what happens. Now, if you lose it, then it's gone. you go back and do what we know works. But that is how I would approach it. Don't take your first dollar or your life savings and do something that is not proven. And time again, every single year, we see people continuously fall for these coffee scams, for these multi-level marketing schemes that you got to get people to recruit to do all this stuff, and they claim to make so much money, but in reality, the only people making money are those at the top. And the only people making money with these penny stocks usually are those who invested first, right, and pumped up the entire thing or the entire coin. We saw it with Hawk2A coin as well. It will keep you poor, and I've seen it time and time again. When I was a financial advisor, I managed over $140 million. I've seen dozens and dozens and dozens of millionaires. I ain't seen ne'er one make it by investing in a penny stock. So take that for what you will, but I'm telling you, the chances are not in your favor. Then you have the cost of not knowing. The cost of ignorance is what some people would say. The truth is, you're not going to know everything. I don't know everything. But there have been cases where someone will say, hey, I got a 401k. They'll put 10, 15% in it for years and not realize like, hey, this money's been sitting in cash and you've missed out in the last 5 years of compounding interest. You didn't know, did you? Or there have also been people who have withdrawn money from their 401k, didn't know that you now owe a 10% penalty, and because you weren't 59 and a half, you owe another penalty. So now you lost 20% because you didn't know that there could have been a rollover, or you didn't know that you were supposed to withdraw it, and you could have done something called a rollover and transferred it to a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. Who knew? If you subscribe to this channel, you would have known, right? Got videos on how to do that, and we got apps on how to do that as well. But there's a cost of not knowing some of the medium to very basic information. Now again, if you're new, you're not going to know certain things. But again, that's why channels like this do exist, to teach you the basics, to get you started on the right path so you can avoid many of those mistakes. If you want to avoid those mistakes, there are several books and resources out there. This channel is one of those, and if you're not subscribed, this is your chance to do so. Also, I've got an entire beginners playlist on how you can start investing and avoid many of those mistakes as well. If you want to know what those videos are and where the playlist is, you can check out this video right here.